Hello from SpeedCon! Woo. You see already some crazy dudes behind me practicing their crazy games in the whole week what we are having for you. Hope you enjoy the Berlin community and all the people who came here. My name is berlindude1. I'm kind of from here, but no, just kind. And we're playing here Wonderboy 1. First game in the Wonderboy series. Has an infinite loop of music, so if you get a headache from that, just, I don't know, take some coffee after that run. So, whenever you want to go, we start. I give you a countdown. This is Kazam, partner helping me. And yeah, we play the first run of the day and hope it will be kind of enjoyable. So, 3, 2, 1, go! Starting SpeedCon. Let's go. So yeah, you're Wonderboy. Wonderboy is blonde. I don't know why. And yeah, what is Wonderboy doing? He has an axe, he can jump, and he gets a skateboard. Don't ask me why, but he gets a skateboard. So yeah, this is a very, very old arcade classica. Was very famous in that time and was ported to a lot of different consoles, and also had been ported under another game called Adventure Island for the Nintendo Entertainment System. So yeah, this is actually the original one from the arcade. And it got ported for, so many people of you perhaps know this gameplay and things like that. But yeah, this is the original one, Wonderboy, and it has always the same music. So enjoy 40 minutes of the same loop. Would be funny for you, for sure. So we have 9 areas to beat with 4 rounds, and then the game is done. The actual world record is 46 minutes 22 seconds. Holding by me because nobody else wants to play this crazy game. And if you want to start learning it, there's actually a tutorial I made in German in the moment, but I think it understands. You can understand that game even without really knowing German. Or if you want to practice some German language, you can always watch the tutorial also, because yeah, you can learn perhaps some German there. So yeah, you have like different patterns. This game has actually no RNG except of one level, what is 4-1, where you have like volcano stones. The rest is just execution and knowing what to do, or just jumping into the water and die. So we have our first death, and hope there are coming not too much more. But yeah, good thing about this game is that you have actually infinite continues. So even if you would die here and there, you would have lives, of course, and like I said, infinite continues. You would start in the beginning of the game, of the round, wherever you had been, but there's not like death and you cannot continue. So the only thing what can happen is I destroy the estimate, and the guys already said, please don't destroy the estimate, but we will see. I hope I will not do it, but game will show us. So a lot of different colors. What is like, we have many times the situation that we have enemies what are having the same color like the background, and yeah, that game is kind of hard sometimes when you have like a blue enemy on a blue screen or a golden background with golden platforms. But yeah, like I said, this game is arcade-like, and because it's arcade-like, they also took the difficulty from the arcade too, and that makes the game harder. Yeah, and you always have to concentrate, of course. You have actually the health bar in the top. The health bar, when the health bar goes down, you lose your life because of no healthiness. You can eat fruits or things, pommes frites, whatever there's spawning to refresh your health. And the skateboard is like one hit for free, so you lose your skateboard, and the next time when you get hit, you die. You can grab axes and you can grab skateboards here and there. And every time when you are reaching round 4, you are fighting a boss. And the funny part about this game is actually that the boss is much, much easier than the whole level. Like, you're fighting your whole level with so many patterns. Like, we're in the beginning of the game and still very enjoyable and relaxing. But as much as we go forward, the levels go harder, more enemies are spawning. And then you fight the enemy in the end, and he's always doing the same pattern. So, kind of, yeah, how we say it. It's like you don't even actually understand why it's such a hard level and such an easy boss. So yeah, the bosses are actually really easy. And yeah, like I said, first Wonder Boy game, completely different to the other Wonder Boy games. And this is the boss, super difficult. You always hit the head and then he's getting a new head. And we play any percent, so we only play until round area 9, round 4. But there's actually a possibility to get even into area 10 by collecting all the dots, but 100% that would be really slow, so we don't do that. Area 2 right now, round 1. Every time when you are reaching the end of the level, you are losing your skateboard. Doesn't even matter if you have it or not. And then you have to start always as Wonder Boy with axes and on your feet, and that's it. And you there are some levels where you actually don't get even a skateboard, but there are other items like this angel where you collect it and you can go like there. Every round has like parts like from 1 to 4, and you can then have an invincibility for at least one part of the game, like one part of that round. And yeah, if you think this game is really easy to play and it looks so easy to jump just from platform to platform, try out yourself. I would be happy if somebody would try that speedrun. It's actually harder than it looks like, but yeah. Best is just try yourself out. Every speedrun what you see, you can always try out yourself, so you can see how much work we speedrunners bring into that to give you a good show. So we're at 6 minutes. The run is estimated for 52 minutes. World record is 46 minutes 22. I hope I get sub 50, but I'm not promising anything, and perhaps I'll break the estimate by 30 minutes, so you have more from Wonder Boy. We will see. But I hope to get at least sub 50 minutes is my goal in that. And if not, enjoy this infinite loop music forever, because you will never get it out of your head again, I guess. If you get it out of your head just because of another infinite loop music, whatever, can be Super Mario Bros. Or whatever. So yeah, you are seeing like I collect all the fruits, but it's not really important, because we are so fast that we actually don't have to look for the health bar. Here's an interesting thing: if you are just hitting that wall, you get a double platform. If you are not hitting that wall, you get only one of the 2 platforms. Here was the thing with the enemy in the background, blue of blue. Nice gimmick of the creators of that game, saying, yeah, we just use the same background like the enemy. Really easy, it's like gold on gold, blue on blue. So when you play it the first time, you normally die against this bat because you don't even see it. Yeah, and you have always this music. Da, 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 da. You can start to sing with us. But yeah, I would completely understand if you 1 minute later just mute your sound, because it's kind of annoying in the end. So we are, 2-3, okay. So we get a skateboard again. Our friend Wonder Boy can finally again use the skateboard. Skateboard is a little bit faster than using the normal speed of him. And yeah, you have like a lot of things in your way, but like I said, we are still in the beginning of the game, so it's even still manageable and doable for everybody. And it just gets harder by more enemies and more stones and more things coming up. But yeah, what can I say to Wonder Boy? If you have any questions to Wonder Boy, just let me know, but if I'm not answering, it's because I'm trying to focus on that run. But again, hi everybody from everywhere in the world who's watching that right now. And It's just interesting that this game is actually the beginning of that marathon, because it's, I guess, one of the oldest games what we have in this marathon for sure, because it came out in 1986 for the arcade and 1987 ported to the Sega Master System. So yeah, we start with the oldest. What is existed perhaps in this marathon? I don't know. Cool. 2-4, we are coming in boss time, boss music. So finally some other music than the infinite loop what you always hear in that game. So enjoy that a little bit. We lost the skateboard because we touched accidentally the stone. And every time when you see a flower, this guy is spawning and he has a love letter from your girl. But yeah, I don't understand why we have it, but it's okay. And if you see this game more often than one time, you will actually see that many levels are recycled in the end. So you have always the same system of this level here, just with more enemies or more spiders, but it's actually always the same looking. So they just used, I think, maximum 6 or 7 levels and just brought more and more enemies in the end. And we're coming to the boss again. We have to jump over that hole, don't fall in the pit. And this time it's not 8 hits, it's 10 hits. So really hard. Super hard boss. It just goes up, like we start with 8 hits and in the end I think it's 24 hits for the last guy. And then I don't say what the ending is, but you always have to rescue your girlfriend. What a surprise. 3-1. You see now the first warp zone in this game. This game is actually in every area a warp zone. I didn't touch the other warp zones because these other warp zones didn't help me of speed up, but this one actually really speeds me up because I start in the beginning, I come out in the end, and I just go a little bit on the cloud and jump a little bit around, collecting some hearts. Many people who saw that game asked, why is this girl not going with Wonder Boy and then they leave that girlfriend that they are trying to rescue? I don't actually know. I heard that this is the sister of her or something, I don't know, even more crazy. So yeah, this is helping girl, giving us some hearts, like an affair of Wonder Boy, I guess. And now we're on the goal, so this is the warp zone situation. Cut the game, or in that case, that level by 40 seconds or something. So really a big time save. And we are using the warp zones as often as we can when they are even saving time. So we're on 3-2. Skateboard part again, let's go. And we have a different background, green. And we have again a lot of enemies. Now you see the first time the bees. Bees are always, you know, like bees. And some snakes, some stones rolling to us. And like I said, every time when you're losing your skateboard, you can actually continue and you can collect another skateboard if the game is nice to you, or you just continue as normal Wonder Boy by walking and throwing axes. So yeah, the dots actually are the things what I already explained. You have to collect all the dots to get the real ending by finishing in area 10. But the ending of any percent and 100% is actually exactly the same. So there is no new gimmick or whatever. You just play another area, and we saw that yesterday. Because I never played 100%, we saw the ending levels. They had been horrible.
Yes.
That was crazy. Too many enemies, and if you would not die before, you would die there for sure. So 3-3. Let's go in the water. This level is actually the same like 1-2, just more enemies. The wonderful music again, like you know this music already, I think, for some minutes. And jumping around. Here's now a little bit, you have to be a little bit careful to kill this guy, so we stop here. If not, you are crashing just into him, and it looks always funny when he loses his skateboard. Like diving into this death. Now we are just using the angel, killing all the enemies, and yeah, using the same pattern like we always said. Like I said, there is no surprise. Many of the patterns are actually the same. You just have to learn sometimes only one level and then you actually know what comes next. Of course, last time I was falling into the water here, so I should shut up in that case, because you can always die when you curse yourself, right? Do you want to read some donations? Is there something for us, or...
Hi everyone. Yes, there is one donation from Aura Blackquill that's $10, and she's saying, "Let's get the party started. Best of luck to all the runners and all my good wishes to Potsdam." Thank you so much for your donation. Yeah, let's get the party started and let's make it wild.
So, a big clap for the first donation during the speedrun, guys. Give him a shout out. And we hope that there are much more donations coming into that SpeedCon marathon. Helping, of course, every time. And yeah, if you want to donate, do it now. Wonderboy1. So yeah, we are having another boss time. Here you see a Death Angel. This Death Angel is actually bringing your HP down. Why do I do this even? Because when you are losing your HP, you actually get faster into the next screen. Because every time when you're in the end of the round, you see that the health is just going down and up. And as short as the health bar is, as quicker we are going into the next screen. That's why I take every time this Death Angel, almost dying, but not dying. So, now comes 4-1. And 4-1 is actually the only RNG level and the reset point of this game. We have here some volcano stones in the background, and they are randomly flying. And this is the worst part of the game, because you don't know what comes, and you can die a lot. And you don't know what these stones are doing and how they are flying, and you have to stop or go forward, and I just lost my skateboard. It's fine. So the biggest problem with this... oh, there's it all. The biggest problem with these stones is like they're completely flying random, you don't know how they come. And like I said, if you go for a world record, you have to finish this level actually without losing your skateboard. It's actually hard because every time when you get killed, you're actually losing also your hammer. So we had actually a really good pattern except the one stone. Stones had been nice, didn't fly to us, so we passed the RNG part. Oh, we did it! We did it! Yes! Okay, so this was the biggest RNG part. The rest is actually only execution, so there is no surprise except you just die in a spot what you don't know, and then you have to do everything without. 4-2! So we don't get a skateboard from this game anymore until 4-3, so we have just to jump up here and just jump over everything what is coming, and don't die. And it looks really close, of course. We just got an extra life, very friendly. You can get until 6 extra lives, and like I said, you have infinite continues, so don't worry. And like I said, it's no RNG anymore, it's just doing everything kind of correctly, but yeah, you know, like jumping one time too short or too late or whatever, can lose the run, or can lose in that case the time. So I just jumping against this wall again to spawn these double platforms, because I don't want to show you a really crazy jump just from one to the other platform and fall into the pit. Yeah, because we don't want to see too much deaths. We already had one death what was unexpected, and we don't want any more deaths in this game. Yeah, and if you are looking for different music in the game, you're in the wrong channel right now. Because this music will be actually in every level coming, except the boss levels, or when you are in that warp zone, or if you are having the angel. Then you have like a animation music. Yeah, okay. I cannot sing. So 4-3, we are in the desert. That's actually in a unique level. It's only one time. So we only have one time a desert here, what is kind of cool. We just lost our skateboard. Not a big deal, right? It's not a big deal actually. It's just we are a little bit slower here. Just go forward, kill the enemies what are coming. A little bit here we get a new skateboard actually. And yeah, we're just jumping here around, don't touch anything. understand when you have to jump or when you have to brake. A lot of enemies. And different, also different enemies in that case. Here you have like chameleons what are jumping always instead of just coming to you. So you just have to know when they're actually jumping or when they're just walking. And scorpions we have here. So we have two different enemies what are not showing up in the rest of the game, only in that level. Why? I don't know. Well, perhaps in Area 10 what we never saw, that there's perhaps another desert. I don't know. So, 4-4 is actually the weak level what comes later. Like there is a really, really crazy level later, 8-4, where you have a lot of enemies coming. And this is kind of the light version from that. So you have like a one-shot with skateboard. And if you lose the skateboard in that kind of level, you have to be really slowly because you have a lot of enemies. And like I said, this is the light version. Later there comes just much more. And you just saw a little bit how crazy 8-4 will be later. Many casual players died here forever because they lose their hammer and then they cannot hit the enemies anymore and they have to wait because, yeah, they don't have a hammer. They don't even get a hammer. And we are just doing it like that. Going to the boss, and you know, as always in Wonder Boy, super hard boss, just jumping and shooting and say hello and thank you.
And
Super hard and bye-bye. We didn't even see his attack. Like, we didn't even see 4 bosses there attacking. It's like crazy.
Next time.
Next time. You want that I just wait?
Yes.
So, don't worry, the enemies get faster in the end, so you will see their attacks, their fireball, their thunders, but yeah. Someday. 5-1 is a little bit relaxing after that kind of not hard but harder level. So you get directly an angel, thank you very much. So you can relax, drink some coffee or some Coke or read a donation if you want, whatever you want. So
We've got another donation. It's $20 from Anonymous saying, "Good luck running Wonder Boy, Berlindude. Most people don't know how difficult it is to speedrun that game." Thank you for your donation. By the way, we would like to remind you that we are raising donations for Save the Children, an international organization helping children in developing countries. So if you feel like it, please donate. We will be really grateful to you. And if you want to help us have and hold more marathons like this, you could subscribe to us using Twitch Prime. That will be a tremendous help.
thank you very much. It's better not always hear the runner, you know, because it gets kind of boring when the runner is always talking. I don't know if you even want to know more about Wonder Boy. I mean, you see everything about Wonder Boy already. It's like just a blonde guy throwing some hammers, riding a skateboard, and killing snakes, killing bees, try to avoid everything what is coming in the way. So actually the game explains itself from the beginning, from the first level. And can be really frustrating, of course, but the speedrun is actually really fun. Yeah, you have to take at least some patience because of the music, or some patterns, or if you like press jump and you don't get the jump because you're at the end of the platform. But yeah, this is in my eyes actually not a so hard speedrun to learn, but everybody who wants. I know that these guys practicing behind me would never speedrun Wonder Boy because they saw it too often in my stream or whatever, I don't know. So yeah, we are coming closer to the end, cool part. And yeah, like I already said, has 9 areas and with 4 rounds. We are like kind of the half of the game, 5-2 right now. And there are not so many surprises anymore, except music. Music. No, and like I already said, if you want to do a 100% run, you can actually collect all the dots, find them out, and see the area 10. What is the secret part? But There's actually no secret ending. I wish they would have done some kind of Easter egg, so you would really like to see the end, like Area 10. But it's just no special. It's just helping your girlfriend and not taking this girl. I don't know why. Like, makes no sense, but you're even collecting hearts. They say these are the hearts from your girlfriend. She sent it out in the manual. It was completely crazy when I was reading the manual when I was 8 years old. What is this actually doing with the story? Well, it has something to do with the story, I guess. And we are running on ice right now. If you don't see it, it's really slippery. And you have to stop here to get that platform. If not, you just fall into the pit, you lose your axe, and then you try to make a really crazy jump because you don't have the axe anymore. Because they don't give you the axe again. Like, you have to collect it by an egg. How weird is that? You have to collect it by an egg. I don't know if they had been taking some medicine in that time when they were creating it. But it's fun. Definitely fun. So yeah, you have your axe, you're just trying to avoid enemies, jumping over spiders, killing some bees, killing some snakes, collecting eggs with milk. There's milk inside, don't ask me how the milk came inside there, but there's milk inside. Jumping over snakes, no, they're snails, they are snails. Having some frogs, and yeah, always the same. Looks easier than it is actually. But yeah, speedrun is definitely nice to watch, and I always love to see some cool tricks from the guys. Like, there will be a lot of runners showing you tricks like out of bounds or skipping bosses or whatever. So speedrun community really brings a lot of effort into their runs to make it look really nice, cutting the game down. So again, big shoutouts to every speedrunner who finds some tricks in the game or some parts. They put a lot of effort in that, and speedrun community is actually doing a lot of stuff just to make a viewer show really crazy stuff. So definitely shout out to every speedrunner in the world. Love you guys and girls. You are all family. Familia. So we are in 6-1. We are back in the beach. A lot of pits coming out. We have a lot of snails here. We just say goodbye to every snail because why not? And we have some octopuses jumping up. Another thing what I wanted to mention is that the arcade version is actually harder than this port. So since the console players, they didn't want to force them to put more coins into them, they make many times they made the game a little bit much easier according to the arcade, because as you know, the arcade games had been there to make money, so you had to put another coin in if you lost your lives, and in the end the people who bought these arcade machines tried to make money with you. They took a lot of same gameplay from the arcade, but they made it actually a little bit easier here and there. So yeah, you have the feeling of the arcade, but you don't have actually the same level of difficulty in some areas. So it has to be at least enjoyable for somebody in that time who was like at least 6 years. Has to be. They had like age things on the back, from which age you have to be to play this. So at least you don't have to rage already with 6 years, I think. I would say. 6-2, we are again in the cave, and as you can see, there are already coming more enemies or more things on the screen. There's here, for example, a bee. If you would not break, you would directly jump into the bee. And yeah, more enemies means also more lag in that time. So in that time it was actually like that. As much more enemies or sprites are on the screen, as much more laggy the game becomes. So here and there you will see the game really slowing down. And that was typical for that time of 8-bit and 16-bit games, that as much sprites there are, as much laggy it becomes, or the platforms, like you can see, even are flickering because of the background and there had not been so much, we would call it like a processor in that time, that it could display it correctly. So sometimes you see like platforms flickering or the game slowing down because the console couldn't even manage too many things. The funny part about this game is also that if there are too many sprites, that other sprites are just actually not spawning. Like you can see like the lag right now or the flickering of the enemies. Like there are parts later where actually there would be more enemies, but because the game cannot handle the speed what we have, they're actually spawning less enemies. What is actually a good thing for us, because less enemies means we can bonk less an enemy and we can die less. Just to mention. But yeah, I know I talk too much, sorry for that. But it's in my genetic code. You can donate that I stop talking. Please do that. Would help us every time. So yeah, we are in 6-3. We used another warp zone and coming closer to the end, step by step. And as much we are coming closer to the end, as much enemies are spawning, and as laggier it will be, for sure. We have 30 minutes on the time. We want to be under 50, so hopefully I will play maximum 19 minutes more. But I cannot promise anything. I try my best. So 6-4. You saw already these kind of backgrounds. We are on the way to the next boss. And enemy spawning. Enemies are killing you instantly, and stones don't kill you. Stones actually just, you lose health when you're bonking them. So you can actually bonk a stone, but don't bonk the frog here, for example. You don't actually have to jump on that, but I like it, so I do it. And now we have part 3 with spiders. A lot of spiders. Doing always the same pattern. I kill that for fun, that guy. And every time when you see a flower in the background, this guy is spawning. And if you kill him, you get a love letter from your girlfriend. I don't know why, how, but in the manual there was written, this is a love letter from your girl, Tanya, and he tries to bring it to her. Don't ask me, really weird. Wah! Okay, that was close. That was a fireball, finally! Almost catch me. I would love to watch, to show that animation when he's getting in flames, you know, like when he's getting brown and like cockling, like German cockles, like...
a barbecue.
A barbecue, yes. But that would mean I would lose a life, so I don't know if I should show that. Let's see. If we are on a good time, perhaps I show it, I don't know. So we are again on the beach, but this time without a skateboard here. And we have a lot of octopuses. And... just waiting to... Yeah, and that was, for example, a situation when you are not bonking the stone because then you lose your life. So yeah, that was a laggy situation. It's actually not a big deal. We just lost a little bit time. That was the curse of myself, because I wanted to show that how it looks like when you get flamed. I didn't get that platform there, that cloud. That's why I was bonking the stone, and when you're bonking the stone you cannot actually move anymore, and jumping then over that snail is kind of impossible, so you just saw me dying against the snail, because snails are deadly creatures in this game. A snail, okay. Well, the snail is even not moving, and now we get that funny angel again, and there comes a guy from the behind and just runs into you. Why not? And every time when you're killing, of course, an enemy with the angel, you get points. And yep, same. This level is the same design like many other levels already. Jumping over the door, because every time when you're collecting a door, you lose 2.5 seconds in the end screen, because you get points for every door. So that's why we try to avoid every door as much as possible. Because that is time plus, and time plus is not good for a speedrun. Right? Right. Okay, 7-2. I think this is again indoor, yeah, in the cave. And we have some bats here showing up. with a wonderful music in the background. I mean, you could say this is a nightmare music when you're like hearing that all over again. Because it's not getting out of your head if you're really playing this game over and over again. And if you somehow manage to get another music in your head, congratulations. Because reasons. There's actually a really cool remix on YouTube from that, a meta remix. Can definitely mention that. So if you have this music right now in your head, you can watch the meta version of that. Perhaps you like it a little bit more again. And now we are just, for safety, kill these guys. We used again the Death Angel to bring down our HP. So we are going faster to the next screen. And now we have another warp zone in 7.3. And the good thing about this game is that all the warp zones, you have one warp zone every area. All the warp zones are really skipping really crazy hard levels. So I'm really happy that they are always in these hard levels. So you see, like every time when we are going more and more, we are getting more and more enemies. That was on purpose because you cannot enter the warp zone when you are having a skateboard, because a skateboard cannot brake. The skateboard just can go slower if you brake, but you are always passing this point of warp zones with the skateboard, so you can actually not enter them. You have to lose your skateboard to enter the warp zones, and the warp zones have always things from a girl, so you have like lip gloss or a shoe, or you have a teddy bear. Like there, in that time in the 80s, there had been like, they showed items what a girl has normally. No offensive, it's just how the creators think in that time. So every time you have like kind of an item what was typical girl, like an umbrella or perfume or sunglasses and things like that. La la. So we used the warp zone in 7.3 and we are in 7.4. That means an ILR burst time. But at least we have the hammer. And you see, like, now the game will lag even more because of so many sprites. So you can see it, like, how Wonderboy is, like, actually really slowing down with every time when he's, like, having a lot of sprites on the screen. And, yeah, every time when you are going into the next level, it's get more and more laggy. And you have more enemies, of course, so the game really wants to kill you now. There's even a spider, so there you have to use that jumping thing. And yeah, we try to avoid, like I already said, all the dots what we can. And don't jump into these spiders, but I almost died. And now you can see the laggy part again, because like all the spiders had been there. You don't have to kill this guy, actually, I just do it for fun because like I don't like him running so fast and trying to hit me. And another boss time. This time I think we have an elephant head, so you have like a lot of animals or crazy guys. Oh, 3, 4. And he's dead. So you throw one fireball, and now we come to area 8. And like I already mentioned, there's one level 8-4. What is a one-shot? One-shot means I have to try to pass the whole level with a skateboard with a lot of enemies to make it a speedrun. In the practice I did it only once, I think, yesterday. So and when we can show it, it would be a really cool thing and would save a lot of time. But we are not even yet there. We are at 4, not yet. We are right now at 8-1. So we try to just don't lose our skateboard here. Jumping over a lot of beds, having a lot of lag. Here there are not only frogs, there are also platforms what fall down. You can see them if you are looking closer because of green back. Like you see these platforms are different when they are like, they're looking more green, then they are moving down. So here's a platform, you can see what would fall down. Here's a platform. So they have different colors and they would always fall down. We don't collect the doll, of course. Jumping over this green platform, killing here the bed, jumping over them. And as a casual player, you always stop. As a speedrunner, you go fast, and the really interesting thing in that level is if you stop, you get killed by the stones, but if you just go, you will never get killed by the stones from the background. But you don't know that as a casual player, so you always stop and then you get hit and you 8-2, we go in the night. We have some new enemies right now. So we get some new footage. We get raccoons, I think, in the background will come and show up. We have these kind of enemies flying around. It's kind of weird. They make even a funny face, to be honest. They will never hit you. The only one who can hit you is actually that owl. I cannot talk right now. And yeah, these guys are just flying over you. And that was a stone. And you lose your skateboard when you're touching an enemy, but that was of course not intended. And yeah, you are just don't run into the fire. I mean, we wanted to show it, but that is too much damage actually. But I think we will reach the end. Like, if you don't have any more health in the end, you would lose, and there would be a screen called no vitality, so you would lose a life. And we're coming closer to that really crazy hardcore level 8-4. Let's see if I had luck today. It's just execution, I mean, but execution is execution, you know? So, we are coming closer to the end of the level and closer to the end of the game, of course. More stones, more enemies, more stones, and more stones. So yeah, they really want to kill you right now. A lot of snakes, a lot of lag, a lot of enemies coming here. So, another interesting thing in that level is, for example, if you are too fast in the end and you don't break here, it could be that your angel is despawning because of too many sprites. So you would directly run into the fire and die. Would be funny to watch, I know. So we come to 8-4. I will be shutting up one time in the run. And let's see if I get this correctly. If not, you will see me dying or losing my skateboard. I try. It's a one time. You don't get another skateboard, so wish me luck for 8-4. Getting the best. Hardcore level. I lost it. Okay, so we lost the skateboard. It's actually not a big deal, so we are just now slower. And there are a lot of enemies coming. Here's a thunder. So yeah, the only thing what is right now is that we have to wait, because normally you would jump here, but you actually have to wait for these guys or just kill them. Instead of just going with a skateboard right now, we have to kill them or wait until they are throwing their stones. But yeah, if you would die here, you would not get another hammer. So it's really important to have a hammer here, because if not, you just have to wait and wait until they're throwing their stones, because if not, you die always. But yeah, you can imagine if you are really looking for improving your world record, and at 40 minutes you have a one shot that you do it correctly. And if you don't do it correctly, you have to reset. So we have a lot of bees here. And we reached the end of the level, at least. Lost just 1 minute in the whole run, but it's not a big deal. And now we see the first time a guy throwing thunder at us. And when he hits us with thunder, we actually also get burned. But of course we don't want to show you that, so we kill this guy. And we had 43 minutes, we have 4 more rounds to go, it looks like. Okay, I don't want to jinx myself, but I think we could kind of be under 50 minutes in the end. Perhaps. So last area means around 4 or 5 minutes to go before we are finishing the game. Game ends when we are killing the last head, when he's throwing down, and when Tanya wants to kiss us. So, 9-1. Actually a really hard level, but since we have here a warp zone, we say no, we don't play it, we just go. Bye bye. Don't want to play this. And yeah, like I said, every area has one warp zone somewhere, and some warp zones are useful, some are useless. And this one is useful because you you are like direct in the end, and you are on ice, so that means if you want to stop, you can actually not really stop because ice physics. But you have to stop at least one time here in front of the platform because you are not reaching it. You have to stop and then you are here, and that is 9-1. It's a really hardcore level. We played it accidentally yesterday, and we saw a lot of enemies, a lot of things, and we didn't know what actually was there until we played it like yesterday on accident, because I died exactly in the moment. And when you use one time the warp zone and you die, you cannot use the warp zone anymore. That's the important part. So it's only one shot for the warp zone. And if you don't know this music, you didn't see the whole speedrun for the last 40 minutes. And we are just on the beach again. Same level like before, just more enemies, more fire, more things popping in. Don't take the door, jump between, and take the angel. And everything what comes. And we have a different music, let's go! So yeah, we have like one part, a little bit different music. And you see like we are almost in the end, like you see everywhere enemies and a lot of lag coming up. But yeah, not a big deal. Same level like before. Like this level is I think now the 3rd time showing up, just with more enemies, or the 4th time even, I'm not sure. And you just have to play it as good as possible. And then we are in 9-3. 9-3 was before always a headache for me until I find out a pattern by just jumping. Before I was always like braking and going. But now since I found out the pattern, and I hope I can show you that with skateboard, it's actually really easy because you just have to jump and jump and jump and jump. But yeah, player's course, you never know. Getting a skateboard, jumping between these enemies. Even that level was a lot of time already before. You have to brake here and there, going forward there. A lot of lag here coming because of that, a lot of enemies coming. Here we are just despawning an enemy. And now we are just using the jump and jump and jump and jump. And then we pass that area, what was actually before really hard. But now since we are just using the jumps, we are fine here. Here's a really funny bet what caused us yesterday a 30-meter death. Like he was losing the skateboard and was falling like so it was really funny to watch. It was of course not good for us. So last level. If I don't do it completely wrong, it should be a sub 50, so we would be in the estimate. We are not near to the world record, of course, but we would be at least not breaking the estimate, so I would get not killed by these guys behind me, because the estimate was 52, I think. That was on purpose, by the way, because I want to lose my skateboard. And you see a lot of lag right now. And with skateboard you can actually not brake. And I want to brake here and there. And it's very important to actually have hammers here. And you will actually see why. Because now we have double spiders coming up. And if you don't have a hammer here, you would have to jump between these spiders. What is really crazy hard. And you see the lag as much sprites are on the screen. And there will be right now a really laggy jump in the end before we come to the last boss. Finishing the game. Here's the laggy jump between these. Ooh, okay. So, last boss. Time is when the head is just going down. It's 24 shots. Let's see if I can count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, Be ready. One more shot. Time. 48-38. Would be second place
Nice.
on the leaderboards because nobody else plays this game.
Hard
So,
game.
like you know from all the old games, we have a really long ending scene. Thank you very much for rescuing me and bye. Very nice. So this is the game Wonder Boy. I hope you enjoy SpeedCon. Shout out to every runner who's speedrunning here something and donate for us. Enjoy us. We will be here. Thank you very much. My name is berlindude. Let's go! Bye bye.